So the big question is what it always is how do we know God is speaking to us? How does God speak to us? How do I know He's speaking to me? And if you didn't see my last reel, I'll make sure I put it in the description below. But you already know that God speaks to us in so many ways. I believe that God speaks to the way that He feels that you will receive it. So He may speak to me a certain way, but speak to another way. So, for example, He may speak to me through inner voice that I hear. He may speak to you through coincidences. He may speak to someone else through His written word. So there's so many different ways that God can possibly speak to us. We just have to be open to hearing Him. And then once we hear Him, to be obedient. For example, if you look at the story Lila and the Voice, it looks at God speaking to Lila the first way through His voice. Right away when she hears it, she's unsure. She speaks to her mother about it. She writes about it in her diary so she can go back and reflect, see how and why possibly God was speaking to her. So it's not only hearing His voice, but it's listening and being obedient. The entire series, it's about God's voice and the different ways He can possibly speak to us. We have Lila and the Voice, which is the first book in the series. And then we also have Lila and the Visitor, which is the second book in the series. And this one actually looks at how God speaks to us through angels. Yes, I said that, through angels. So a great series to help introduce children to God's voice. And it's also a great series to check out as an adult, because believe it or not, I didn't realize that I was giving something else the praise for what was happening when it was actually God speaking to me all along. So let's get a refresher of how God can speak to us so we can also share it with the world and with the little ones. All right, check out the link below. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. All right, go out and shine your light.